I was waiting on the Lord, and the Lord appeared to me and said, I'm going to draw a line between good and evil in the church. I thought, woo, that's pretty strong. He didn't say when, but he did say this. He said, this will be accompanied by cosmic events. And those who call evil good and good evil will be removed, both in the church and in the world. Whoa, I thought, there will be no more grace extended for this. I will expose hidden and plans of the enemy in the year of the 70. Especially, I will expose Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and others. He was saying, I will expose how evil Hillary Clinton is. You have no understanding how evil that woman is. Now, you know, if you had a choice between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, there's no contest there. Put Trump in any day. Hillary Clinton is an extremely evil person and will answer to it. And so he said, okay, especially Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. But he said, to those who walk with me in truth and righteousness, your time has come. And I thought, wow, yes. My sword is outstretched in judgment, he said, and my scepter will be outstretched in favor. See, the two things running together. Then he said this, transfers taking place, taken from one and given to another. I thought, okay. Convergence, colliding in the heavens, great shifts occurring in the heavens. This was back last year. The Russian bear advancing but will be restrained for a while. He said a plane crash will uncover evil intent. And that's the thing I had an encounter just recently, and he reminded me of this. He said, a plane crash will uncover evil content. He said, what the Lord said to you will happen. It's not optional. So I thought, oh, okay. There's a birthing of a new day. We need to know where we're going. And he said, in this day, this new season, you'll do greater works than I have did on the earth. I thought, what could be greater than what you have done? Well, you could transform a whole you could translate a whole congregation into the heart of China to preach the gospel and translate them home again the next day. Greater things. I'm deadly serious. Deadly serious. These things are going to happen. This is a new season. I am sick of traveling on Qantas.
Sid Roth here with Jeremy Nelson, and I'm going to tell you something. I can't think of anything more tragic than someone to develop stage 4 cancer, not know about God's supernatural healing, and to have a son that's just a young, 13 years of age. What happened to your mom?
Yeah, well, when I was 13 years old, my mother got breast cancer, and went to the hospital, went to the doctors, went through all the stages of treatment, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And finally, the doctors told her, there wasn't much that they could do. And at that time, there was an amazing person that came and actually gave my mother a Bible and said, hey, Jesus heals. You should read this and check it out. And so my mother actually ended up reading the Bible. And anyway, she saw that Jesus healed people. And so in her room alone, she just cried out to God. And she said, Jesus, if you're really real and you heal people, then heal me. And when she said that, she went into an open vision and she saw the hand of God come down out of heaven and touch her. And anyway, she was instantly healed of cancer, went back to the hospital. They couldn't find a trace of cancer anymore, and she became the first believer in our family.
He goes to college, he starts drinking, drugs, the whole 9 yards. But he comes home his junior year, and he's in his room alone. And what happened?
Well, what had happened is I came home from college, just a break, and at that time I hit rock bottom. You know, I was tired of drinking and doing drugs, and I wanted to be a better person, and so I ended up going to church with my mother, and after church I ended up in my room by myself, and I'd made a decision that day that I wanted to follow Jesus, and so I had a conversation with God. I didn't know how to get saved. No one led me to the Lord, so I just kind of looked up at the ceiling and I said, hey, God, this is how it's going to be. I said, I'm going to give my life to you, but as hard as I ran into the darkness, I'm going to run into the light. And I said, I don't know what it means fully, but I want to give you my heart. I want to give you my life. And I said, God, I don't want to be like those hypocrites, though, that I see all the time, that they say they love you, they say they give you their life, but then they live a lifestyle that looks just like the world. I said, Lord, I'm either all in or all out, and today I commit my life to you. And that was what I said. I didn't feel anything, no goosebumps, no tickles. And
so what happened to your alcoholism, your drug addiction?
Well, the next day, I actually woke up and I was on fire. You know, I didn't feel anything when I prayed.
What do you mean on fire?
I mean, I couldn't stop reading the Bible. I couldn't stop praising. I couldn't stop worshiping. You know, I never touched drugs or alcohol again. Instantly delivered from all of it. And, you know, it was just a supernatural encounter with Jesus that set me free.
This is what occurred, as you've explained it to me. Every time he would hear these testimonies, something would happen inside of him, and his faith would become activated to expect these things. And in fact, he gets on an airplane, and what happened?
Well, what happened is, you know, after I heard many of those testimonies, like I just shared the one with you, you know, Bobby told me something. He said, hey, Jeremy, he goes, do you want to know why I keep telling you these testimonies? I said, why is that? And he said, it's not because I want you to think I'm more spiritual than you, but it's because I'm giving you the keys to enter into the encounters yourself. He said, the testimony of Jesus is a spirit of prophecy. And he said, the reason why I tell you the testimonies is because it actually opens it up for you. And he said, if you'll think about the things of God and talk about the things of God, Colossians chapter 3, verse 1, set your mind and affections on things above. He said, if you set your mind there, then you'll have the things that are above in your life. And so he challenged me. He said, I challenge you to talk about God and watch what happens. And so me and my friend are flying from New Jersey back to Vancouver, where I was living at the time. And as we're flying back, we're just talking about God stories. You know, we're telling testimonies of miracles and dreams and visions and encounters. And at that time, I was telling mainly Bobby's because I was just with him.
Right.
And so we get to Vancouver, and my brother Josh picks us up in my car from the airport. We get in the car and we begin to drive. And so we're so excited about the testimonies, we start telling him about the testimonies. Then all of a sudden my friend, what's going on? We're in Mississippi. And I'm thinking, what? And
what?
Yeah. So I look back at him and I look forward, and you know, we were driving down the Vancouver highway. Well, all of a sudden we're not on the Vancouver highway anymore, Sid. We were on a normal street. There were street lights. We look to the left. There's a guy mowing the lawn. And my friend in the back screams, I know that man. I know that man. I went to high school with him. This is my hometown. And my brother's driving the car, and he just looks stunned. He's like, he's trying to figure out what's going on. And so all of a sudden I look back.
How many miles away was this from where you were?
2,700 miles.
Did you get that? He's all of a sudden transported 2,700 miles.
Yep.
We don't have to worry about gas prices going up with that type of supernatural travel.
Yeah, and you don't even have to have a current passport.
Okay, so he freaks out by what he's seeing.
So he's freaking out, and to be honest, I'm freaking out.
I'm freaking out. How about you?
And so I look back at him again, and when I look back again, we're right back on the Vancouver highway. And so it was amazing because, you know, we knew that we were somewhere else, and we knew where we started from, and then we're back there. So my friend calls the guy on the cell phone that was mowing the lawn, and he says, hey, were you mowing the lawn just now? And the guy tells him, man, I knew you're prophetic, but you're scaring me now. And I believe these are the angels that release signs and wonders. You know, we've seen many signs and wonders in meetings that we've been in. And when those angels come, there's always a special anointing of God's presence that comes to heal, to deliver, to set people free. But also there's signs that happen that make people wonder about God.
Now, Tell me when it was activated sound, you heard something hit the ground. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I was at a meeting in Canada one time, and I was on the front row, and I was praying, and I was asking God, Lord, what are you going to do in the meeting tonight? And I heard the sound of something fall and hit the ground. It sounded just like that. And I said, God, what was that? And the Lord said to me, Jeremy, that's a gemstone, and I'm going to send it into the meeting tonight to build people's faith. And so I leaned over to the pastor that I was with, and I said, hey, I know this sounds strange, but I just heard the sound of a gemstone fall in the spirit, and I felt like God said one is going to come tonight. And when I told him that, he looked at me and he said, that's definitely different, but I'll agree with you. And so he agreed with me in prayer. We said, Lord, whatever you want to release, we receive it. And it was amazing. That night, there was a 3-carat gemstone that fell. A woman found it, and she actually took it to gemologists, a few of them actually, and they appraised it. They looked at it. They said it was one of the most perfect gemstones they'd ever seen, and it was a diamond.